Thrilled to have behind the mic today, mastermind behind the chilling new horror thriller flick Blackwater Lane, director Jeff Celentano. Jeff's got a knack for weaving suspenseful narratives that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Prepare to spook yourself. And as we delve into the making of Blackwater Lane, the secrets behind the scares, and what terrifies Jeff himself. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you for having me here. Dogs are the thing that terrify me the most, but we don't have any dogs in the film. We do have a fox.
Ah, yes, I
And I
remember.
can't tell you any secrets because then they wouldn't be secrets anymore, would they?
That's true. That's a good thing, though.
Uh,
Secrets are always good.
yeah,
But
they are.
I just want to congratulate you with the film because I'm a horror thriller fanatic, and my good friend Tony Tapone, he used to be the editor of Fangoria magazine.
Mm.
He goes around all over the world talking to directors when he do thrillers and films, and I went to a lot of his shows and so on. And this particular film is scaled on that direction because what I want to know is what initially drew you to Elizabeth Fowler's script for Blackwater Lane.
Well, it was the chance to make a movie that would scare people without all the stuff that they use today, the digital effects and all that. It was a pure human experience for me. I wanted to see if I could capture the same kind of feeling that they did in movies back in the day that terrified us, the movies that Hitchcock made and other movies like The Omen we brought up earlier, The Exorcist, things like that. They were really scary, and I wanted to make a movie like that. I just felt I could do it, and I felt this script kind of gave me the ability to make it something that people would be entertained by for the entire time and could take anyone they wanted to the movie. They wouldn't be running out of the theater because it wasn't gory. It was more psychological. And that's what kind of drew me to it.
Were there any significant changes during the filming process?
Yes. I've been asked that question in different ways, but I like the way you asked me because there were a lot of scenes that we altered and changed. You're not always, but a lot of times movies, you're rewriting things that fit the location or fit the certain part of the story that's unfolding. And it's an evolving kind of process. You just keep kind of looking at ideas to make it better all the time. And then you enhance stuff. And then I had to go to the writer and say, are you okay with this? And they'd go, oh, I love that. Let's do this too. Or what about this? And out of that, all these great ideas come. And so if you have the time, the extra time, which we didn't really have a lot of, but we did have some time where we could experiment with some stuff. So
Yeah. So horror thrives on atmosphere. How did you approach building tension? And do you anticipate keeping viewers on the edge of their seats throughout the film?
yes, because I've shown it to certain people and they're not the yes people, they're the people that are pretty brutal. And they all felt they were glued to the screen the whole time. They didn't move, so I thought maybe they were hating the film. Their expressions were like suppressed. And I said, "Weren't you terrified?" And they said, "I couldn't even speak." So it was effective. And so I feel confident just in the few people that I've shown it to that it's working. And my goal was to, when I watch scary movies, I want to be scared. I want to believe the scenes that I'm watching, and I want really good actors to portray them. And that was my goal.
Well, you know what? I saw the film a couple nights ago, and I saw it at night. So it it just it was amazing because I had to turn the light on. I'm
Oh,
serious. I get like that sometimes, and you're right. I was glued to it, to the whole story because I was just amazed how I was like confused the whole time too, because I'm trying to figure out, is there a ghost? Is there this? Is there that? Is that person a murderer? Or this? So it had me intense. So your film really did a number on me, which is great. So you did a fantastic job.
sorry I have you in therapy the rest of your life, but in a way it's good. No, I know, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I mean, I think we achieved the goal we set out to do was like having you constantly guessing and all these different characters that
Yep, yep,
all had kind of different weird elements that you never knew who was involved in what.
yep.
That was the goal.
So working with such talented cast must have been incredible. Can you share an anecdote about a particular a moment during filming with the main characters?
Yeah, there were a lot. There's a lot of emotion flying around. There's a lot of like heavy scenes. So there was a lot of direction talking to them about that. I think there were some scenes like with Maggie Grace that scared me because she was so buried in her character and immersed in it that sometimes she looked in my eyes and she wasn't Maggie anymore, even when she was offset. And I really, you know, she was just so deeply involved emotionally, and so was Minka, and so was Dermot. So that was an interesting part of it for me, that they really dove in with everything they had.
Now, the film seems to explore themes beyond the typical ghost story. Can you elaborate on some of the deeper messages or social commentary embedded within the film?
Yeah, I think this movie's part scary horror film and also human. What people are going through, like, you know, the fact that Minka has this issue in the film from her past or her family's, you know, gene pool. And, you know, a lot of people going through that today in life, period, just based on their addiction to social media, based on their age, you know, getting dementia or whatever. So I wanted to play with that. I wanted to have that, you know, I had somebody watch this movie and said, Jeff, I'm watching the film, and this is a composer friend of mine who was looking at the movie, you know, not objectively. He was really looking at it as if he wanted to be a part of this. And he said, "Man, I'm watching this film and I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm terrified, but I'm like, is this a movie about mental illness?" Because I had a lot of family members that were just like her. But then all of a sudden you switch gears on me and it's not about that. And you totally threw me. And I was like so floored at the end of the twist. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, me too, because I was taken to that path at one time, but then the boy, the student, threw me
Yeah.
off guard too. And a lot of things threw me off guard. So I was like, you know, is she being played or is this really her? Because some of the stunts that happened during filming, I was thinking, how do they do this? You know, to fake it. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be real. I mean, even the twist, it's so mind-blowing that I wanted to make it believable. Like, if really this happened, it was so important to me. You know, are we close to it being exactly as it would be in real life?
Right.
I think once you really go for that angle with people, with the audience, I think that they buy into it, they get absorbed into it, and they believe it. And that was my goal, was to try to make them, my target was getting the audience to believe everybody was going through an experience like they were.
Short break, but check out this special exclusive clip from Lionsgate from the movie Blackwater Lane.
So did you buy out Bond Street?
Don't sneak up on me like that.
No, sorry.
Did you see that man out there?
What?
Outside, just right in front of the house.
No, I didn't see anybody.
Well, he was just there.
Let me see. Where? There?
I'm not making it up. What?
Come on, Cass. Your imagination is just, it's a little bit out there sometimes.
Matthew? I didn't imagine it.
Now, the film's title, Blackwater Lane, it suggests a place of mystery and potential danger. Even the name sounds
Yeah.
Out like that. Did you draw the inspiration from a real life location or urban legend for the setting? I know it came from a book, but the whole name, it sounds like maybe there's some truth about that whole, location. Maybe.
Yeah, no, it was more about when I got to England, it all felt like Blackwater Lane. We stayed in a very creepy hotel, beautiful hotel, but very old and historic, called the Dunstan Hall. That was another, it's not in the movie, but it's where we stayed. And there were like big rats running through the lobby, but this is like a five-star hotel. This is England. They
Yeah.
get in somewhere and they're just like Harry Potter. There's rats and spiders and bats. And I saw all that stuff. And I had foxes running across the road in front of me. And I thought, I'm going to embody that. I want to embrace this, embody this into our, put this in the movie. And so we had a lot of fog in the woods and, going back to the old films like The Werewolf or which terrified me. Those kind of movies, the old Sherlock Holmes films, with the moors and stuff. The moors were always so creepy. The woods around this house were so creepy. This house had a moat and all these weird art sculptures that you see in the film. They're all on the property. I didn't have to go anywhere. Even the props and the furniture mostly came from the house itself.
Does somebody live in that house? Like,
Two men live in there,
wow.
uh, and they are the nicest, sweetest, coolest people ever. They're very eccentric. One is from China and the other one's a British guy. And they're like super creative. And I'm not even sure what they do for a living. I think they're just filthy rich, but they're super, super sweet and giving people. And they bought this house. It was like their dream house. And they have big parties there. And they have this whole moat that goes around with swans in it. And it's epic.
It's beautiful, beautiful scenery that you captured too. The film is shrouded in a chilling mystery. Can you tease our listeners with a hint about the true nature of the horrors the cast encounters, played by the amazing, as we know, Minka Kelly?
And what was it? I missed the question a little bit there.
Can you tease our listeners with a hint about the true nature of the horrors that the main character cast encounters, played by the amazing Minka Kelly?
Yeah. A hint.
Without giving away too much.
Yeah. What is not always what you really see.
Ah,
Sometimes it's like my old adage, never judge a book by its cover. You will be trying to figure out in this film who did what, who is a part of what, and you always think you figured it out. I've watched people watch the movie and go, I know who's involved. And they're totally blown away at the end. That wasn't the person.
okay.
Other people get it. Other people don't. I love that about it. 50% of the people are split. They don't know who is doing what, and then the other people were onto it.
What
So
are
you have to figure it out as an audience. That's the key.
Okay, what are your aspirations for future of horror and thriller filmmaking?
My aspirations as a filmmaker?
No, for the future, like for other horrors and thrillers of filmmaking, like other films that you're going to be doing in that direction.
I have a vampire anthology I'm working on right now. I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm mostly focused right now on doing inspirational movies.
Yeah.
I had done a movie before this and it really touched people, so I'm focused on that. I love all genres. I'm not, like I was telling another guy today, an interviewer, if I was offered something great and it was horror and it really was special, I would totally be interested.
Sure. It's good to juggle the ball in different directions.
I've always been that guy, and it's messed me up so badly because Hollywood wants to put you in a box,
Yeah, yeah.
and my box is pretty big. I like a lot of different boxes. I go to a lot of different movies. When I watch a horror movie, I want to be terrified. When I watch a comedy, I want to laugh through the whole thing. And that's the kind of movies I want to make. Movies that people believe in and get invested in.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the film is set for release on June 21st, 2024, in theaters and on digital and on demand. It's a great film. everyone, all my listeners, everybody out there, go watch this film. God bless, Jeff. It's a terrific film. And I wish you, I was going to say luck, but I think the film speaks for itself. So,
Thank you, Antonio.
and have a nice press day. Take
All
care.
right. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Bye bye.